Right inside your mind, this very moment, the most extraordinary power exists. A power so profound it's shaping your life with every passing second. Each thought you whisper to yourself, each word you choose when you look in the mirror, is quietly building the framework of your tomorrow. Think about that for a moment. Your internal conversation happening right now is literally crafting your future. I remember clearly meeting Tom, a young salesman in Chicago back in 1988. He would start each morning staring at his reflection, shoulders slumped, muttering, "Another tough day ahead." His sales were rock bottom and his manager was close to letting him go. But one winter morning, something clicked. He recalled reading about a simple truth. You become what you repeatedly tell yourself. That very day, he changed his morning ritual. Standing tall, he began saying, "I'm getting better and stronger every single day. My customers need what I offer, and I help them succeed." Within 6 months, Tom wasn't just leading his district in sales. He had broken the company's quarterly record. What changed? Not the products, not the territory, not the economy. The only thing that changed was the conversation he had with himself. Now here's what fascinates me about this power we all possess. It's entirely within our control. Nobody else can put thoughts in your head without your permission. No external circumstance can force you to talk to yourself in any particular way. You hold absolute power over this endless stream of self-talk that's constantly flowing through your mind. Think of your thoughts as seeds you're planting in the garden of your mind. Plant roses, you get roses. Plant weeds, you get weeds. It's that simple and it's that powerful. Every word you speak to yourself is a seed that will grow into your reality. Consider your mind as the most sophisticated recording device ever created. Everything you say to yourself gets recorded, replayed, and eventually shows up in your actions, your habits, and ultimately, your results. When you stand in front of that mirror each morning, the words you choose become the blueprint for your day, your year, and your entire life story. I've studied successful people for decades, and here's what I've noticed. Winners talk differently to themselves. They don't just think differently. They maintain an ongoing dialogue with themselves that's filled with possibility, determination, and unwavering belief. Every single champion, whether in business, sports, or life, has mastered this art of positive self-talk. Let me share something remarkable about how your brain works. When you speak to yourself, your brain releases specific chemicals, neurotransmitters that literally change your physical state. Positive self-talk triggers the release of dopamine and serotonin, chemicals that not only make you feel better, but actually improve your performance. Your brain can't tell the difference between what you vividly imagine and what's real. That's why Olympic athletes use self-talk as a crucial part of their training. Take Michael Johnson, the legendary sprinter. Before every race, he would repeat to himself, "I am fast, I am strong, I am fully prepared." He wasn't just trying to pump himself up. He was literally programming his nervous system for peak performance. His world records weren't just about physical training. They were the result of years of disciplined mental conditioning through purposeful self-talk. In the business world, Mary Kay Ash built a cosmetics empire from scratch. She famously told herself every morning, "I can do this. I will do this. I am doing this." Notice the progression in those words, from possibility to determination to present action. That's not just positive thinking, it's strategic self-programming. Your brain is constantly seeking evidence to support whatever you tell it. When you tell yourself this is too hard, your brain will find all the reasons why that's true. But when you say, "I find solutions to every challenge," your brain gets busy proving that statement right instead. It's like a heat-seeking missile. It will find whatever target you give it. I've witnessed countless transformations through the power of changed self-talk. A banker I knew in Detroit was terrified of public speaking. Every time he had to give a presentation, he'd tell himself, "I'm going to mess this up," and predictably he did. Then he learned about the science of self-talk. He began telling himself, "I share valuable information that helps others succeed." Within months, he became one of the most requested speakers in his organization. The fascinating thing about self-talk is that it works both ways. It can limit you or liberate you. Many people walk around all day saying things like, "I'm not good with numbers," or "I always mess up relationships." These statements become self-fulfilling prophecies. But change the dialogue to, I'm learning to master finances, or I'm becoming better at relationships every day. And watch how your brain begins finding ways to make those statements true. Your internal dialogue creates your external reality through a simple but powerful process. Your self-talk shapes your beliefs drive your actions, and your actions create your results. It's a continuous cycle that either works for you or against you, depending on the words you choose. Think of it this way. Your mind is like a garden, and your self-talk is the water and nutrients you provide. Feed it with phrases like I can't or it's too hard, and you'll grow a garden of limitations, but nourish it with I'm capable and I find ways to succeed, and you'll cultivate a harvest of achievements. The beauty of this truth is its simplicity and accessibility. You don't need special equipment, advanced degrees, or large amounts of money to change your self-talk. You just need awareness and the decision to choose words that serve you rather than sabotage you. Every moment of every day, you're either building yourself up or tearing yourself down through the invisible power of your self-talk. Remember, this isn't about denying reality or pretending everything is perfect. It's about choosing words that empower you to face challenges and find solutions. When you change your self-talk, you change your life, not because the world changes, but because you begin to notice and act upon different opportunities. Let's face it, negative self-talk has been with most of us since childhood. It sneaks into our minds like a thief in the night, stealing our confidence, our dreams, and our potential. But right now, this very moment, you can begin breaking those chains that have held you back for so long. First, you need to recognize these destructive patterns. They often show up in predictable ways. You make a small mistake, and suddenly you're telling yourself, I never get anything right. You face a setback, and that voice whispers, this always happens to me. Notice those words, never, always, everything, nothing. These are the red flags of negative self-talk that poison your potential. I'll tell you about Sarah, a talented artist I met in Phoenix. Every time she tried to sell her work, she'd tell herself, nobody wants to pay for my art. This thought played in her head like a broken record. One day she decided to track these negative thoughts in a small notebook. Just writing them down made her realize she was running a constant advertisement against herself. She started catching these thoughts midstream and replacing them with, my art brings value to people's lives. Within a year, she had her first solo exhibition. The transformation wasn't magic, it was methodical. She broke the negative chain one link at a time. Here's a practical technique I've seen work wonders. The stop, challenge, choose method. When you catch yourself in negative self-talk, mentally shout, stop. Then challenge that thought. Is this actually true? What's the evidence? Finally, choose a more empowering alternative. It's simple but remarkably effective. Take Robert, a middle-aged manager who believed he was too old to learn new technology. Every time his company introduced new software, he'd tell himself, I'll never understand this stuff. This self-talk was creating actual barriers in his brain. Then he learned to stop, challenge, and choose. He began telling himself, I learn at my own pace, and that's perfectly fine. Within months, he became the go-to person for the new systems. Another powerful technique is what I call the mirror moment. Spend 5 minutes each morning looking in the mirror and speaking to yourself as you would to your best friend. Would you tell your best friend they're worthless, that they can't succeed? Of course not. Give yourself the same kindness, the same encouragement. I remember a young athlete, James, who kept missing crucial shots in basketball games. His self-talk was brutal. You're going to choke again. His coach taught him to replace that with, you're prepared and ready. It wasn't just positive thinking, it was strategic mental programming. He went on to break his school scoring record. Here's another technique, the success journal. Each night, write down 3 things you did well that day. They don't have to be huge achievements. Maybe you smiled at a stranger, completed a task efficiently, or chose a healthy lunch. This creates a counter-narrative to negative self-talk by building evidence of your capabilities. Linda, a single mother of 3, used this technique to transform her life. She'd constantly tell herself she was overwhelmed and failing. The success journal helped her see that she was actually managing incredibly well. Her self-talk shifted from, I can't handle this, to, I'm finding ways to make things work. This shift in internal dialogue led to better organization, more patience with her children, and eventually a promotion at work. Remember, negative self-talk often comes in disguise. It might sound like realism or even protection. I better not try that, I might fail. That's not protection, it's prison. Real protection comes from building yourself up, not tearing yourself down. Consider this. Every time you engage in negative self-talk, you're programming your subconscious mind for failure. But when you consciously choose empowering self-talk, you're literally rewiring your brain for success. This isn't just motivation, it's neuroscience. I want to tell you about Mike, a salesperson who transformed his entire career by changing one simple phrase. Instead of telling himself, "I hate cold calling," he switched to, "I'm connecting with people who need my help." His call reluctance disappeared. His sales doubled. Same job, same prospects, different self-talk, different results. The key to breaking the negative chain is consistency. You didn't develop negative self-talk overnight, and you won't transform it overnight either. But every time you catch and correct a negative thought, you're weakening those old chains and forging new ones, chains of strength, not limitation. Think of negative self-talk as a bad habit like smoking. Just as a smoker must consciously choose not to light up, you must consciously choose not to engage in negative self-talk. Each time you make this choice, you're building new neural pathways in your brain. Start small. Choose one area of negative self-talk to transform this week. Maybe it's how you talk to yourself about money or relationships or your abilities. Focus on that one area. Notice when the negative talk starts. Stop it. Replace it. Repeat this process until the new empowering self-talk becomes your default setting. Remember, your mind doesn't know the difference between a real experience and one you vividly imagine. When you consistently feed it positive, empowering self-talk, it accepts this as your new reality and begins creating evidence to support it. This isn't wishful thinking, it's deliberate mental programming for success. Your mind is exactly like a bank account. Every word you speak to yourself is either a deposit or a withdrawal. The beautiful truth is that you can become mentally wealthy through consistent, purposeful deposits of powerful self-talk. Just as you wouldn't throw counterfeit money into your bank account, you can't afford to put weak, meaningless affirmations into your mental vault. Let me show you how to create affirmations that actually work. Most people get this wrong. They say things like, "I am rich," when they're broke, and their mind rejects it instantly. Instead, build your affirmations with action and progress. "I'm taking smart actions every day to build my wealth." Or, "I'm learning and applying financial wisdom daily." Your mind accepts these because they focus on growth and action rather than just end results. Here's what David, a struggling restaurant owner, did to turn his business around. Instead of just saying, "My restaurant is successful," he crafted this affirmation. "I'm creating exceptional experiences for every guest who walks through my door." This wasn't just positive thinking, it was a practical focus that changed his actions and eventually his results. Now about developing a winner's vocabulary. This is crucial. Remove words like try, hope, maybe, and might from your self-talk. These are weak words that leave escape hatches for failure. Replace them with words of certainty and action. I will, I am, I choose, I create. Notice the difference between "I'll try to make that happen" and "I will make that happen." One is wishful, the other is committed. Think of Olympic athletes. They don't try to win, they train to win. They don't hope to perform well, they prepare to perform well. Your vocabulary shapes your expectations, and your expectations shape your actions. Choose words that demand action and commitment from you. I knew a teacher who transformed her classroom by changing her vocabulary. Instead of thinking, "These kids are challenging," she switched to, "I'm finding effective ways to reach every student." Her new vocabulary created new strategies, which created new results. Her class went from the lowest to highest performing in her grade level within one semester. Training your mind is just like training your body. It requires consistency, progression, and the right fuel. Start each day with mental exercises. I call it mental calisthenics. Take 5 minutes every morning to flex your positive self-talk muscles. Stand tall, shoulders back, and declare your intentions for the day with power and conviction. Create a mental gym routine. Just as you might do sets of push-ups, do sets of empowering statements. But here's the key. Feel them, mean them, own them. Each declaration should energize you, like a mental rep building your confidence muscles. Barbara, a shy public speaker, created her mental gym routine. Every morning, I share valuable insights confidently, 10 times. My message impacts lives positively, 10 times. I connect authentically with every audience, 10 times. Within months, she was booking paid speaking engagements. Your mental training must be progressive. Start with affirmations you can believe today, then gradually stretch them as your confidence grows. If making cold calls terrifies you, don't start with "I love cold calling." Start with "I'm learning to make effective calls," then progress to "I'm becoming more confident with each call," and eventually, "I'm a master at connecting with new prospects." Think of your mind as an elite athlete in training. Feed it premium fuel, carefully chosen words and thoughts that energize and strengthen you. Just as an athlete wouldn't eat junk food before a competition, don't feed your mind mental junk food like worry, doubt, and self-criticism. Here's a powerful technique. Create a success soundtrack in your mind. Choose phrases that energize you and put them to a rhythm. A sales executive I coached used "Every call moves me forward, every no brings me closer, every yes builds my success." He would repeat this mentally with each step as he walked into the office. His sales increased by 40% in 1 quarter. Your mental fortune grows through compound interest. Each positive thought builds on the previous one. Each empowering phrase strengthens your foundation for the next one. This is how you create unstoppable momentum in your life. Remember, your brain is listening to every word you say, internally and externally. It's recording everything and using it to create your reality. Make every word count. Make every thought serve your growth. Train your mind with the same dedication an athlete brings to their sport. Start building your mental fortune now. Take out the weak phrases that have been keeping you poor in spirit. Replace them with words of power, purpose, and possibilities. Your new mental wealth will show up in your actions, your results, and ultimately, in every area of your life. This isn't about perfection, it's about progression. Every time you catch yourself in poor mental habits and correct course, you're becoming wealthier in spirit and stronger in capability. You're building a mental fortune that no market crash can touch, no recession can diminish, and no circumstance can devalue. From this moment forward, your daily practice becomes your secret weapon. What you do in the first hour of your morning sets the tone for your entire day. Winners understand this truth, and they guard their morning ritual like a precious treasure. Start your morning before the world starts making demands on your time. The early morning hours hold a special power. They're quiet, untouched, filled with possibility. Rise early enough to own this time completely. This isn't about torturing yourself. It's about giving yourself the gift of uninterrupted personal power time. Begin with what I call the power hour. The moment you open your eyes, say these words with conviction. This is going to be a magnificent day, and I am ready for it. Your first thoughts are like setting the temperature for the day. Make them count. Stand tall, take 3 deep breaths, and smile. Yes, smile, even if you don't feel like it. Your body language speaks directly to your brain. A client of mine, Richard, transformed his life with this morning practice. He used to wake up rushing, stressed, already behind. Now he wakes up 90 minutes earlier than necessary. The first 20 minutes. Physical movement. Simple stretches, push-ups, anything to get his blood flowing. The next 20 minutes, reading something that feeds his mind and goals. The final 20 minutes, planning his day while enjoying his coffee in complete peace. The extra 30 minutes, that's his buffer, his insurance against rushing. His sales have doubled since implementing this ritual. Throughout your day, install mental check-ins. I call them power pauses. Set your phone to vibrate every 2 hours. When it does, take 30 seconds to check your mental state. Ask yourself, are my thoughts right now moving me toward my goals or away from them? If they're not serving you, redirect them immediately. This simple practice prevents negative thought patterns from taking root. Consider Susan, a corporate executive who was constantly stressed. She started using power pauses. During each check-in, she'd take 3 deep breaths and repeat her chosen power phrase. I handle every situation with calm confidence. This simple practice changed her entire leadership style. Her team's productivity increased by 30% within 3 months. Before every significant activity in your day, take 10 seconds to set your mental stage. Going into a meeting? Tell yourself, I contribute value to every discussion. Making an important call, say, "I communicate with clarity and purpose." These aren't just words, they're mental programs you're installing. Your lunch break isn't just for eating, it's a crucial mental reset point. Take 5 minutes of your lunch break to sit quietly and review your morning. Celebrate what's gone well, reset any negative patterns, preview and mentally rehearse your afternoon victories. This midday mental tune-up keeps you on track. Then there's the evening review, possibly the most overlooked success practice. Most people just fall into bed, their minds still buzzing with the day's events. Winners know better. They use the last 30 minutes of their day strategically. Create your evening success ritual. Start by reviewing your day's victories, no matter how small. Write down 3 specific things you did well. Then identify 3 things you'll do better tomorrow. Not with judgment, but with commitment to growth. Finally, preview tomorrow's activities in your mind, seeing yourself handling each one with excellence. Mark, a business owner, credits his evening practice for his company's turnaround. Every night he takes 15 minutes to write his victory log, noting what went right and why. Then he spends 10 minutes planning tomorrow, not just activities, but his mental approach to each one. The last 5 minutes, pure gratitude for the day's experiences, even the challenging ones. His stress levels dropped, his sleep improved, and his business decisions became sharper. Your daily practice must include regular mental maintenance. Think of negative thoughts like dust on a mirror. If you don't clean them off regularly, they build up until you can't see clearly anymore. Use your power pauses to keep your mental mirror clean and clear. Remember, this daily practice isn't about perfection, it's about progression. Some days you'll nail every part of it. Other days you'll miss pieces. That's fine. Just never miss twice in a row. Consistency over time is what builds real power. During your day, when you feel pressure building, when challenges arise, and they will, return to your morning power phrases. Let them be your anchor in any storm. This isn't positive thinking, it's mental conditioning for peak performance. Install triggers in your environment. Place small dots or symbols on your phone, computer, or desk. When you see them, use them as instant reminders to check and redirect your thoughts. One executive I worked with put small blue dots on his office items. Each time he spotted one, he'd take one deep breath and repeat his core power phrase. His stress levels dropped by half in 1 month. End your day with power, just as you started it. Your last thoughts before sleep are like planting seeds in your subconscious mind that will grow overnight. Make them count. Say to yourself, "I'm grateful for today's experiences, and I'm ready for tomorrow's opportunities." This daily practice isn't a luxury, it's a necessity for anyone serious about success. Just as you wouldn't start a car journey with an empty tank, don't start your day without filling your mental tank with power thoughts and success programming. Your daily practice is your fueling station, your maintenance facility, and your success insurance policy all in one. Now, all this powerful self-talk means nothing without action. The real magic happens when your internal dialogue drives you to take bold steps forward. Every positive thought must have hands and feet. It must lead to specific, concrete actions that move you closer to your goals. Think of positive self-talk as the ignition system in your car. It's essential, but without putting the car in gear and pressing the accelerator, you won't move an inch. Your actions are the wheels that carry your intentions forward. Every morning after your power statements, ask yourself, what 3 specific actions will I take today to turn these words into reality? Let me tell you about Frank, a software developer who dreamed of starting his own company. He had great self-talk. "I'm building a successful business." But for months, nothing happened. Then he learned to attach specific actions to his self-talk. Every time he said, "I'm building a successful business," he immediately wrote down one small action he could take that day. Call one potential client, write 1 page of his business plan, learn 1 new business skill. Start with small, achievable goals that build your confidence. Each small win creates momentum for the next one. If you want to write a book, don't start by trying to write 5 chapters in a day. Start with 1 paragraph. Tomorrow, write 2. Success builds on success. Every small victory reinforces your positive self-talk, creating an upward spiral of achievement. I remember Maria, a weight loss client. Instead of telling herself, "I'm going to lose 50 pounds, she started with, "I'm making 1 healthy choice at a time." Each healthy choice proved her words true. Each small win built her confidence. Within a year, she had lost 60 pounds, more than her original goal. Create what I call success triggers, specific situations that automatically prompt positive action. When you say, "I'm becoming more fit," immediately drop and do 5 push-ups. When you tell yourself, "I'm building my business," instantly make 1 business-related phone call. Link your self-talk directly to action. Break down your larger goals into daily bite-sized pieces. If you're learning a new language, commit to learning 5 new words each day. If you're growing your network, commit to making 2 new connections daily. These small actions powered by your positive self-talk create unstoppable momentum. Here's a powerful truth. Action eliminates anxiety. When you're taking consistent action, even small steps, your self-talk naturally becomes more positive because you're proving to yourself that you're making progress. This creates a success cycle. Positive thoughts drive positive actions, which reinforce positive thoughts. Document your progress. Keep a simple log of your daily actions. This becomes evidence that supports and strengthens your positive self-talk. When you say, "I'm making progress," you can point to specific actions that prove it. This evidence-based self-talk is incredibly powerful. Remember, the size of the action isn't as important as the consistency. Small actions taken consistently create massive results over time. Your positive self-talk keeps you going when results aren't immediately visible. Trust the process, keep taking action, and the results will come. The key is to maintain forward momentum. Even on days when you don't feel motivated, take some action, no matter how small. 1 phone call, 1 paragraph, 1 exercise. These small actions maintain your success momentum and prove that your positive self-talk is more than just words. It's a blueprint for action that's creating your future, 1 step at a time. Your power to transform your life exists in this very moment. Everything you've heard today isn't just information. It's a call to immediate action. Your self-talk is shaping your destiny right now, with every word you speak to yourself. Every thought you allow to take root in your mind. Starting right now, this very second, you can choose different words, create different thoughts, and therefore create different results. Take out your phone, set those power pause reminders. Write down your first 3 positive self-talk statements. Put a small dot on your desk or phone as your reminder to check your mental state. Consider this truth. A mighty river doesn't ask permission to flow. It doesn't wait for perfect conditions. It moves forward, steadily, consistently, powerfully. Sometimes over obstacles, sometimes around them, but always forward. Your new way of talking to yourself, combined with consistent action, makes you exactly like that river. Unstoppable, inevitable in your progress. Remember, you're not just changing words. You're literally rewiring your brain for success. Every positive thought backed by action creates new neural pathways. Every small win strengthens these pathways. You're not just building habits, you're building your future. The time for transformation isn't tomorrow, next week, or next month. It's now. In this moment. Your next thought, your next word to yourself, your next action. These are the building blocks of your destiny. Choose them wisely, use them powerfully, and watch as you become unstoppable in your pursuit of excellence. Take action now. Start right now. The future you desire is waiting for you to speak it into existence. 1 powerful thought, 1 purposeful action at a time. You have everything you need. Now go become unstoppable.